Chapter 18. Because She Loves You. John and Bill were having breakfast the next morning at the B&G Cafe when Detective Plano came. Picking up their check, he asked,
"You boys got a minute?"
Are we being detained?
John asked.
"You can be if you want to go that way."
Then looking at John, he asked,
"Been over to City Park lately, John?"
Looking at each other, they gulped their coffee and got up. Plano said,
"I got this,"
as he made his way to the register to pay their check.
You want us to follow?
John asked.
"No, just ride with me. Car'll be okay here. We don't have car theft in Calden Hale."
Plano was a contradiction of the stylized image of Joseph Smith hanging on the wall down at the police station, but a clear sign of where Utah was now heading as the 21st century barged into the Book of Mormon. His training in homicide was wasted in a town that, until now, had no homicide. As he turned toward Willard Bay, he asked,
"What are you boys really doing here in our lovely community?"
Research on Mormon history.
Bill said.
"Yeah, sure you are. And I'm going to be the next president of the Mormon Church. Now what are you up here for?"
We're looking for the guys that raped a girl in your park.
Carly Ann Avard?
He turned down a dirt road and headed for the water.
"I haven't seen a complaint on that."
So, you know of it.
Bill asked.
"No complaint.
Then where are you taking us, Detective?
Out for a little fresh air. Clears the head."
But you don't have any report?
Plano took a side road following the shore, eventually coming to a spot suitable for parking. Turning his car off, he turned to the two and said,
"I told you, there isn't one. What have I heard? Heard a rumor of a young girl getting viciously gang raped by several sinister pedophiles. It appears as though this sort of thing is happening just about every night in the park when the sun goes down. By the way, did you know about the fire that killed those two out near City Park?"
Heard about it.
Just how did you think that fire started?
Wire short. Electrical, maybe?
Electrical fire, my arse. Meth cook. Meth still went up. Seen it dozens of times in LA. Damn mule was taking a nap on the couch waiting to make a delivery. Lucky for the others in the house that morning. He got the other two and the baby out. The teenage girl that died? Tesla Woodward. She's the girl who took our precious little girl to that party in the park that night. So the Virgin Mary's at a meth party and gets raped. Never seen that before.
John and Bill looked at each other and John said,
So a little girl gets gang raped in your city park and you don't investigate?
Plano pulled his car onto a sandy beach, opened his door, and motioned them.
"Get out!"
he said. Walking over by the muddy shore, he said,
"I didn't investigate because there was no report. The legal guardian never filed one. Got to have a complaint or a body."
Maybe someone forgot to process it.
He looked at John.
Just like someone forgot to report what they saw in the park. No paper on that either.
John and Bill were taken aback.
You knew all that?
Hell yeah, I knew about all that. We try to keep the park clear of bodies. Disturbs the kids. This town has one attraction. Look out there.
He pointed toward a distant island.
Bird Sanctuary. When the gulls return to Calden Hale, that and Peach Day is just about all the excitement these religious nuts can tolerate. What do you boys think you know about the car on the mountain?
Caught the radio traffic. Asked two missionaries who came by, but they seemed to be in the dark.
So you're asking missionaries about police business? Amazing.
We thought maybe they had heard something around.
Plano grinned.
You might be closer than you think there. I'll give you that. Word of mouth is bigger than the New York Times in Calden Hale.
What do you know about that detective?
What do I know? I know the missionaries.
What?
They were sent to feel you out. See who you were, what you knew. I think something was found on a rock up there. Child's hand right on the rock. No trail, no shoe print, just one fatherless swath of blood. Maybe where someone braced themselves leaving the scene.
What happened to the print, Detective?
Don't know. Guess forensics must have not thought it was important. Car wreck. No one hurt. Nobody there when it was discovered. You hear any different? Just like that broken window at John Bennett's house.
Plano stared at the two with a sheepish grin.
What's really on your minds? What do you think you know that I don't know?
The identity of the man on the mountain.
What man on the mountain? You've been on next door too long. There was no man on the mountain. Car towed, total loss, no injuries, crushed and sent to salvage. Want to see the report? Most likely a stolen car. Couldn't do a make on it. Thief missed a turn, left, stumbled against the rock, car gone.
Bill spoke.
But there was a man in the park. That guy. She appears to be on some kind of a vendetta against her attackers.
Plano threw a rock across the lake.
You see her, Bill? I understand John was who was there. Hearsay, my friend.
He looked back at them.
I knew what you were up here for, to kill the guys that raped poor little Carly Ann. And she beat you to it. Hell, I ain't got no evidence on that either. That makes it closed, wouldn't you say? Whole town knows not to hang around City Park at night. Carly never filed a complaint. You two come running up here all bent out of shape. You never came to the department, never called me, never asked for a police report or anything. Never, never. Of course, it wouldn't have done you any good. We don't investigate things that never happened, and there was never a body in the park. Never happened. Just a couple Gentiles from Texas who keep trying to reinvent the wheel. Happens all the time up here. Sometimes you find bodies, hikers, out in the desert that ran out of water. But some guy in the park with his throat cut? If it ever did happen, it would be a drug deal gone wrong. Now some drunk who drowning in his bathtub, we found the other day. Natural causes, big old knot on his head, lungs full of water, tub full of shit. Case closed. You got nothing, boys.
So on one hand, you say you know nothing while you admit that there is a possibility.
Didn't say that. Said there ain't no paper. All explainable. Little girl did it? Prove it, gentlemen. Tell me if you have one shred of evidence.
Explain the fire?
Well, you finally mentioned something I can talk about. Fire marshal called it an electrical fire. Happens all the time. Set off by an electrical short. One extension cord too many. And you're telling me that same little girl is responsible? That's Netflix shit. Do you know how stupid that'll sound over at the DA's office?
Plano lit a cigarette.
Electrical fire. I told you that. Why do you think Carly did that?
Because she told me, Detective.
Carly never told you anything like that. You're trying to bait me. Told you what? If she did, what good is a statement coming out of the mouth of a kid with PTSD? Schizophrenia, my man. Bat shit-eatus. She's crazy. Got screwed hanging around a meth party. Tragic. So traumatized she didn't report it. And no jury in this state will convict her of drinking a Coke. They don't drink those you know, and they don't hang their laundry out for the world to see. And there's no laundry on this line. I understand that she had a traumatic experience. I know her life has been altered. Maybe a change of plans would suit both of you.
Plano asked John.
You gonna be all right? Wouldn't be the first time a little Mormon girl struck out for a new life.
John looked at Plano in total understanding. He remembered the voice in the dark.
Now there we go.
The detective looked at the lake.
I'm trying to give you a way out before you float up in the lake. Bodies don't sink there, you know. Too salty.
I'll bet this was the last thing the Aiken brothers ever saw.
Who were they?
John asked. Plano squatted and picked up another small flat stone.
Couple Gentiles like you two. Come up here, set up a business that the prophet didn't approve of. Brigham sent Porter over to convince them to mend their ways, get right with the Lord, you know.
What did he do?
Plano skimmed the rock across the water.
He brought them out here and blew their brains out, boys. Porter was like that. Blood touching the ground and all that shit. Old Port went back, got drunk, and just called it a day. America came, brought prosperity, pissed in our lake, and filled up our air with mercury, nickel, and lead. Why the hell couldn't it have been gold?
Golden tablets. You know, boys, sometimes I think a little blood atonement could straighten out the country. Just an old man looking at retirement. What do I know? Life is like a peaceful lake, all tranquil, and we all have a boat. Big boats, little boats, all kinds of boats, just floating along on the big lake of life. Then someone comes along like you two idiots and start asking stupid questions about something that is none of their business. Dredging up things better left alone. Know what happens then?
You make waves, big bad waves, and you, my Gentile friends, you and me, we are in the smallest boats on the lake, talking about things these people would rather not hear about. Digging up things better left to rot. They got this. Like the Beatles said, just let it be. We all came here in different boats, but we're in the same boat now.
So you're just gonna cover the evidence and let it go?
Plano grinned.
Cover up what? Like I said, I ain't seen no complaint. Never happened. The saints take care of their own.
And what do you know about that?
Not a whole lot. I'm not temple. Those people keep to themselves. I had to ask myself why the church was interested in a couple of Gentiles. I wouldn't think you boys were all that holy. Maybe you're getting too close to them golden tablets. Maybe the problem has already been taken care of and you were getting in the way.
Okay, so let's get to the bottom line. We believe you got a stack of bodies that's getting higher every day. I don't buy into all this religion, but she's way off the deep end of this salty lake. What are you going to do about Carly? Direct answer, please.
Plano picked up another flat rock and skimmed it across Willard Bay.
Nothing.
Nothing. We tell you about 2 murders and you just call it a day, punch out and go to church?
Plano shook his head.
Told you, I'm not temple, but I know what time it is. It's time for you to go.
Before my blood touches the ground. Right, detective?
Without looking at Bill, Plano said,
The prophet Brigham Young said that if a sinner commits a sin that is so terrible, Jesus himself cannot mop it up. You've got to find a way to do it yourself. If a person kills you and your blood touches the ground, your sin is washed away. Blood atonement. You go to heaven and your executioner gets brownie points for helping you to get there. I heard a story about some blood on a rock, gentlemen. Might have been the autograph of an avenging angel. I don't know, a day-night? You keep digging and you just might need to go to heaven too.
So you're going to just let it go?
Plano skimmed another rock.
Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to just let her go with a pat on her sexy little ass. And we put this whole thing behind us and part friends. Think about it, gentlemen. Did those guys rape a poor little waif? Or did they molest one of God's chosen? Do you know who her father was? She is Mormon royalty, born to save the life of the prophet of the Lamb and all that temple crap. She is descended from Porter himself. You think she ain't got friends? You got to admit. If you two are half right, our little girl is proficient. Or maybe, just maybe, she's one you need to leave alone. Down in the flat, you people worry about Muslim sleeper cells blowing up your buildings. Well, we don't have that up here. We have a secret lodge hall. They're called day nights. And what will you do when they decide to send you to God?
You know, that could be considered suppression of evidence.
He looked at John.
You know, if you ever did discover bodies in the park and didn't report it to the police, that could be accessory after the fact.
So it ends here.
Yeah, now you're catching on.
Plano looked at his feet.
What choice do I have, gentlemen? Look at it from my perspective. This ain't Austin. This is Utah. So, under American rule of law in California, a man can marry a man, a woman can marry a woman, a tiger can marry a chair, but a civil servant in Salt Lake City can't have an extra wife running around the house looking after the babies. Then you have other good Americans set up an operation in your park buying and selling little girls, and you're all pissed off because some of them got wasted and salted down. Well, there's one little girl out there who plays by Porter Rockwell's law, and she sends them all to hell to stand trial. And now you're all pissed off because she don't fit your rule of law. I have a clever idea of her reasons, and I have a real good idea of who her friends are, and I know she's a day-night. So what you boys need to do is leave this on Old Port's grave on your way out of town.
He reached into his coat and handed John the .45 long Colt bullet.
Somebody gave me this. It's for you. When you boys leave town, put this on Porter's grave. It's a tribute. You forget to do that. He gets mad, gets up, and he walks around. Don't forget.
Plano became serious again.
You go trying to build a case against Carly Avard, and you'll look like a couple damn fools for the rest of your very short life.
Pale ale, do you understand that, don't you?
And you're going to cover it up, detective?
What do you think I've been trying to tell you two dumb asses? I investigated it, sure. Even ended up eating cheesecake with a very sweet little girl in an apple orchard. Same orchard you were trading spit with her in the other night. Yeah, I know about that. I hear you, John, sweet little Mormon. Just got home from a decapitation. That's psychopathy, boys. Reactive attachment disorder. Don't feel no pain and has no fear.
Plano motioned John to step away from the car.
Where did Porter kill those brothers?
John asked. Pointing, Plano said,
Right over there.
He was pointing to the very spot where they had been standing. He then motioned for John to follow him, leading him away from Bill, still sitting in the car. Lighting a cigarette, he said,
Okay, little girl had a bad Saturday night, okay? Perverts violently stole her virginity by raping her throughout the night, leaving their DNA in every orifice of that precious little girl. Mommy called the bishop. He comes over with a doctor, a Mormon doctor. They patch her up. She's all fucked up. Yeah. The brethren go to ground. She heals up and shows up. Guys start getting killed. You think she did it? I think she has some help.
He took a puff.
There's nothing to solve. Look at it this way. Who got killed? The perps. The problem was eliminated. You keep digging and they might eliminate you. Let it go.
She confessed to me.
She didn't tell you the whole story. We knew what was going on at City Park. Carly went and got all blessed. Before her mission for the church, her bishop gives her another mission. If all goes well, they find the old meth cook with his throat cut. Carly's on mission for 18 months. No muss, no fuss. Now are you beginning to understand?
Why didn't she tell me this?
John asked.
Because it was none of your goddamn business. Stop second-guessing. She let you go. You found her happy place. Count your blessings and go home.
He crushed out his smoke.
She is a day-knight, born to save the life of the prophet of the Lamb. At all costs, in her eyes, she is a prophet of the church. You don't know how dedicated she can be. Go home, Gentile. Or sleep with the brine shrimp. You got a kiss. And you understand Ruth? She is on mission. You get between her and her bishop, and she will cut your throat from ear to ear. Because she loves you.
What have you done? Left a trail